Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Huzaifah Ahmed and I am from Rehan Korangi campus. Today I've got another topic with me for a task with discussing with ChatGPT, and it's gonna be the importance of self-care and building safety habits. So let's start. Hey ChatGPT, today the topic of discussion with you is the importance of self-care and building safety habits.
That sounds like a really meaningful topic. There's so much to unpack from mental well being to physical safety habits. Is there a particular angle you're thinking about, like daily routines, boundaries, or something else? Absolutely. Yeah, I think daily
All
routines
right.
are important.
First, why don't you tell me what is self care actually? Is it bubble baths and rest days, or is there a deeper definition?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, bubble baths and rest days can absolutely be part of it, but self care is really more holistic. It's about actively tending to your physical, mental, and emotional well being. Things like setting boundaries, getting quality sleep, or even processing your emotions. So it's really personalized.
Okay, why do so many people feel guilty about prioritizing self care? Where does that mindset even come from?
Yeah, that's really common. A lot of it comes from this deeply ingrained idea that being productive or constantly giving to others is more virtuous. So when you step back and take care of yourself, it can feel like you're being selfish. But really, self care is what keeps us balanced so we can give more sustainably.
Okay, and how to overcome that feeling which has been passed on for generations?
Yeah, it's definitely a process. One thing that helps is consciously reframing it. Remind yourself that prioritizing your well being is not just okay, it's necessary. You can start small, maybe set a tiny, non negotiable self care habit and celebrate that. And over time, those small steps kind of push back against that guilt.
Okay. What does science say about how neglecting self care affects long term physical and mental performance?
Research shows that neglecting self care over time significantly impacts both physical and mental performance. Chronic stress from skipped recovery raises stress hormones, while poor sleep and physical neglect reduce cognitive clarity and mood. Over the long term, this can lead to burnout, higher risks of chronic illness, and poorer productivity. The recovery is possible with better sleep, movement, and boundaries.
Alright, what's the difference between self care that genuinely restores you and self care that just avoidance and escapism?
That's a really important distinction. Restorative self care usually leaves you feeling more balanced or recharged, like after a walk, a good night's sleep, or setting a boundary. Escape or avoidance self care, though, is more like numbing out. Think binge watching or scrolling endlessly. It might feel good in the moment, but it doesn't actually recharge you or help you grow.
Okay, got that. Now tell me, what are the most important pillars of self-care? The some topics which are in my mind are sleep, nutrition, movement, mental health. And which one is the most neglected one in your opinion?
In Europe, one of the most neglected pillars of self care is actually health literacy, the ability to find, understand, and use reliable health information. About 46% of people in a study across 17 European countries had inadequate or problematic health literacy. So even if people focus on things like sleep or exercise, not having good health information really holds them back.
Okay, now why don't you tell me how do you build healthy habits around self-care when your schedule is genuinely packed and demanding, which is the reality of most of the people I have seen in my life till now?
Yeah, that's a big challenge. And it really comes down to small, intentional choices. Instead of overhauling your whole routine, focus on micro habits like a 5 minute morning stretch, a 2 minute breathing break, or a short walk. Also, schedule them like appointments, just as non negotiable as a meeting. And be flexible. Some weeks will be harder, but consistency over time is what really builds those habits.
All right, got that. Now, what's the connection between self care and productivity? Do people who take care of themselves actually perform better?
Oh, absolutely. There's a strong connection. When people invest in self care, they tend to have better focus, more energy, and improved emotional regulation, all of which boost productivity. Science backs it up too. People who take care of themselves are less prone to burnout and actually sustain higher performance over the long term.
Okay, how does your environment and the people around you either support or sabotage your self care habits?
Yeah, your environment plays a huge role. If you're surrounded by people who respect your boundaries or who prioritize their own well being, it reinforces your habits. But if you're in a high stress, always on culture, it can be really draining. So, small adjustments like creating a calm space or connecting with supportive peers can make a big difference.
Okay, now mention and explain the warning signs that someone is running on empty and urgently needs to prioritize self care.
Yeah, absolutely. Some warning signs include chronic exhaustion, where no amount of rest seems to help, constant irritability or emotional flatness, a drop in productivity or focus, physical symptoms like headaches or trouble sleeping, or feeling detached or unmotivated. If those start piling up, it's a signal to slow down and put self care at the top of your list.
Okay, how do high performers, I'm talking about athletes, executives, and creatives, structure self care into their demanding routines?
Yeah, they tend to be really intentional and strategic. A lot of them treat self care like any other key performance habit. They block time for it. For example, athletes might have structured recovery days, or executives might start their morning with meditation or exercise. They also delegate ruthlessly, ensuring self care stays a priority even when things get busy.
All right, now, lastly, to conclude this discussion with you, I'm going to ask you the last question, which is what's one self care habit someone can realistically start today that will have the biggest impact on their well being?
Ooh, great closing question. I'd say one really powerful habit is a consistent morning or evening wind down routine. Just 10 minutes of quiet reflection, journaling, or deep sets of breathing. It sets the tone for your day or helps you de stress before sleep, and it's really manageable even in a packed schedule.
All right, everyone, this was the end of my discussion with ChatGPT. I hope you liked it. Until the next one, Allah Hafiz.